Hello.
Hello.
We
We're
are
gonna be
live.
yeah, how we are. We are. We're alive and we're live. Are we real or are we not real? This is gonna be a fun conversation.
Oh, this is going to be a fun discussion today.
So
Um,
much, so much
and
fun.
I feel like a little bit discombobulated because I've been running around preparing for our full moon, blood moon, Virgo moon, eclipse moon, cacao ceremony this afternoon. And I'm like praying out there to the weather gods. Like there's
Yeah.
no rain in the forecast, but we keep getting these clouds that just are floating over and they like drop wetness on. And I'm like, I don't need this today.
Right now.
So,
Yeah. Makes it
um,
difficult.
but but I'm like, if you're out there and you're not doing something with this moon energy, you are missing out because it is insanely powerful. You can use it to manifest whatever reality you want to create for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna be out there soaking it up.
Yeah, I did not, I don't, because the full moon actually was like this morning and the eclipse
Mhm.
was like,
You
I don't
missed
know,
it this
6 o'clock
morning.
this morning or something.
Yeah.
And last night I sat in the space of, am I going to set my alarm and get up and go view this?
Yeah.
And I was like, sleep is more important. I've got so much going on because I'm also leading a cacao ceremony on the beach tomorrow.
Mhm.
And also because this is my last week of treatment before I head over to Egypt.
Egypt.
And so my members are coming in like crazy this week to get all balanced out before I leave. So every moment counts. And so I was
Yes.
like, no, I was like, if I set my alarm to wake up, there's going to be a cloud and I'm not going to see it anyway. So, but I have seen pictures online. I have heard
Yes.
stories from people who got up to see it and
Yes.
thoroughly appreciated it, enjoyed it, and it was amazing. And, but it's not just that moment in time. Like that energy is around us, yesterday, today, tomorrow. Like
Mhm.
it's all
Mhm.
still there. So,
Mhm. Mhm. Feeling
take a
it. I'm
moment,
feeling it.
create a ritual for yourself, set intention, but like soak up that energy and use it.
Yes. I love that. I love that.
Yes.
I'm going to do
I
that.
want to know before we move forward, what is the stone on your pendant?
Well, this is a turquoise.
It
I don't know if you
is.
see it. Yeah. I was feeling a little
Wow.
turquoise, feeling a little indigenous feeling today with my little
Yeah.
Southwestern
Oh,
print.
yeah,
Yeah, feeling a
yeah,
little
yeah.
of the
It's,
Native American and the ancestors feeding
yeah.
me some of that good moon energy. That
Yes.
was calling to me this morning. But thank you for talking about the cacao ceremony. Thank you for reminding us to do what we can, even if we can't attend an actual ceremony, to creating that little space and time for ourselves. Because we need that. We need that quiet time. We need to connect with earth and stars and moon and everything that it wants to give us. Let it come in, because we need that nourishment, don't we? We so
Yes,
all
we
do.
do.
Yeah, and as much as I want to join you tonight, I'm here a few miles away from you and I can't make it, but I will be sitting thinking of you and sipping my cacao, not only now, but a little later.
Yes, yes.
So,
Energetically, we will hold you in our space with us.
oh, I would appreciate that. And do that when you go to Egypt too, because
Oh,
that's
of
an
course.
amazing
Of
energy. I
course.
can't wait to hear what's going on over there when you get there, and all about it when you return. And I know it'll be 2 Tuesdays that will be on the podcast, but next Tuesday you will be in Egypt, and the following as well you will be in Egypt,
Yeah.
correct?
We're going to do our best to try and make this happen with me live from Egypt. So if the technology gods align, it will
Right,
happen.
right. That's our intention anyway. So we'll see what
Yes,
happens. We'll see
yes.
what happens. All right.
So we
So
have a fun topic today.
yes, we do. And it was brought to us by, Sidebar Conversations as it happens. After last show, if you don't mind me saying, I
Go right
heard you
ahead.
say something, but quickly brushed by it. And I went, wait, we've got to unpack that, don't we?
Well, and it's interesting because I dropped that little bomb like everywhere all the time.
You do.
And there is the challenge I have that language is kind of annoying to me. Like I wish everybody could just speak frequency and like everything would be so much clearer. But when you all make me slow down and try and translate things into language, I don't have great patience for it, which is kind of funny that I'm here with this podcast. So I'm kind of counting on you to help translate into human for me.
I'm going to try. Try my best. It's not easy for me either because I was like, whoa, how do we explain this? Took a little time. So I'm glad we had a week between to think about this.
Right. And so for anybody who's not, if it hasn't been clear yet, the thing that I say all the time is none of this is real. It's all made up. It's all made up. And I know that there's those of you out there like, yeah, we know exactly what you're talking about. And then there's the people out there that are like, what the fuck is she talking about? Is she crazy? Yes, I am, but in a good kind of way.
Yes. And you're not alone. You're not alone. The big thing here is there are other people who think and feel just like you do, but to be more expansive about this explanation is what we're trying to do here now so that you'll understand where that comes from.
Well, and I do want to say too, on this journey, I have had so many different levels of understanding of a concept.
Mm-hmm.
And so it isn't something that most people just go from everything is real to everything is not real, like total in an instant. Like there's levels of understanding it, levels of experiencing it. And like the deeper into it I get, the more experiences that I have that like anchor it in, like, no, it's not just craziness. Like it's part of this that we're living in. And the other hilarious thing to me is since we've had this conversation and decided that we were going to have this topic as our podcast topic today.
Yeah.
Like my social media feed, my YouTube feed, it's all this. That's like all it is. So there's a piece of me that's like, okay, am I creating all of these? And on some level, yes, I am. But it's also, I'm not going to lie, there is a bit of comfort in knowing that others are having the same understanding and experience that you are. Like, I'm not the only one that sees and experiences things this way. So.
Agreed. Yeah.
But I will say, so I think the way that I like to help people start to get a grasp of this not being real is virtual reality games. So like when you're inside playing that virtual reality game, that feels real. And you understand that it's not. And so we as humans are playing the ultimate virtual reality game.
Right.
And so I feel like that's one of the easiest ways for people to start to grasp it, to have something to go off of.
Yes, I like that, because that is very much part of what we use and we play with and we understand the concept is the virtual reality picture. and even in rehab, I'm thinking our therapy terms, we're doing virtual reality to move the body. So, but why are we talking about this? And this is, I think some people are like, what are you talking about still? So for those of you who are going, what is she talking about, this virtual reality stuff still? So, I mean, the premise that I first, let me go back 12 years ago or more. The very first time I heard this was when, now I went to Unity Church. I'll do a shout out for them, but it was called A Course in Miracles. And if those of you that have never heard A Course in Miracles, this was channeled by Helen Schuckman. It was written from 1965 to 1972. So it's been around a very, 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 very long time. And it's world renowned. And I would say millions of people have taken this course because it comes with a workbook and a teacher's guide, and they really sink into it and they examine all these principles. So this is the first time I heard through this course what is real and what is unreal. So, that was the first step for me. Now, just like you had said, Julietta, the more and more I think about this, I consider the possibilities of it. And I take it from the religious context that it started in my awareness and brought it to what we do now in Body and Soul, what we have done together in the journey space, okay? And feeling vibrationally what we feel. So for years and years and years, I have felt vibration, okay? And for years and years and years, most recently, I really understand frequency in terms of tone, in terms of just understanding. And I know a lot of you are clairvoyant, clairsentient, and all the clairs, and can understand what we mean by this vibration and frequency. And we bring these terms up a lot, but for those that don't know what we're talking about, and all that is real is to you right now. I'm sitting at a table, I'm picking up a cup. We call that the 3D often. So we're going beyond the physical, and you could say metaphysical, because everybody really understands metaphysical, don't they? I would think by now it's such a mainstream thing. But, when we're looking at what is real and what is unreal, it dawned on me back then that what this course brought to me was I am in the image of God, is what I've always been taught as, a Catholic or a Christian growing up. But now take that image and understand the true nature of perfection. There is no sin. We got to be this unreal, this sinners, these bodies that we incarnate into. And that when we separated from the whole aspect, from our light being, from all that is frequency and vibration and nothing that is human form. When we came from that to incarnate is when we became separate, when we became unreal, because what happened? We forgot who we are. We forgot where we came from. We came from the whole God. That's why we are in the image of God. God is all that there is. And there's no reality but God, which was a Sufi zikr. I'll bring that up too, because as I dove into different religious texts, Sufism was one of the big ones. And I really believe the similarity of all that is. God is, hi Coco, by the way, I'm ignoring Coco over there. The reality is everything is God. There's no throwaway parts, because we are light, we are energy, we are all that is, we're part of it all. Now, incarnate into human form. What did we do? We separated. I am me, Julietta is her. We're separate forms. If we really believe that we're separate forms, there's the unreal behavior that we decided to become when we became human. I am going on a rant here.
I'm just letting you know you're doing good. Like, less work for me. Go ahead.
I know, right? It's just one of those things that has been on my mind. And when you said that, I didn't want to let it go. and I really wanted to help people learn and understand where we're coming from.
Well, and I think the more that you understand that, the easier it is to start to witness how, like, we are creating this reality that's not real. But yeah, the more you can understand that you are, they always say, like, we're all one, like, we're all a drop in the ocean, but someone else swapped it the other way and said, we're an ocean in a drop. And
interesting.
And it's like holographic, like every piece contains the whole.
The whole, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I think I was also having this realization I've shared with people before that, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, I was going through stuff in my house I'm always trying to minimize and purge. I live in a very small house and there's no storage space. And so, holding on to stuff that I don't really need. So anyway, I'm going through these boxes and I find report cards, like from grade school.
That's fun.
And so the one teacher was like, Julieta's a great student, but she lacks interest in current events. And today I was watching someone speak and I had that aha moment that lack, because the definition of lacks interest in current events meant Julietta didn't like to watch the news. She didn't like to read the newspaper. And like, I had that aha moment that even back then, there was the piece of me that recognized that the news wasn't truth. Now we call it fake news. It's always fake news. It doesn't matter who's reporting. It's always fake. It's not real. And, but there's people that, and I know this right now, people are a little panicking. They're like, Julietta, what are you going to Egypt for? Like, it's not safe to go there right now.
Right.
Trust me. Like, I know I'm divinely protected because I am the divine. And I'm also not that attached to any of this 3D. So like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and it's all going to be fine because everything that I am can't be harmed. And so, but also sitting in this experience, I'm recognizing how much people are like, I didn't even know that Egypt had been put on the list of places to, they're advising people to come home from there. But when we talk to the people over there, like, everything is business as usual over there. We're not going to travel to the areas that are close to borders or anything that we need to worry about. So, but having so many people reach out to me, I'm like, why are people reaching out? Why are people reaching out? And so then it's like, I take a brief moment to look at what's being put out there, and it's like, oh, this is why they're reaching out. Right. You all just need to stop watching the news. Like, the news that matters is what is right in front of your face. And
yes. And I mean, I know you're good at not subscribing to the fear-based thinking that is infiltrated in everyday's news. I know that you're good at it. And some people are not. And this is part of the reason why we're talking about this, because you do co-create what you're going through. And because Julietta is saying she is divinely protected, she's not worried, because number one, I do want your 3D body to come back to Fort Lauderdale. So I'm going to put that in just for a selfish reason. But she's talking about being attached, to this 3D body that is, oh my goodness, we can be harmed in some way, shape, or form. When you believe in your divine self, when you believe that your light energy and all that is, it's not a scary thing to become one with that again. And are we meaning a 3D death? Are we meaning death of the human body? I'll let you answer that.
Well, and the death of the 3D body is just returning to source.
Right.
um, and I don't think I ever really had a problem with the word God, but now, like as we're advancing and speaking more, I think there is too many things attached to the word of God that are not in alignment with what we're speaking about. And so I do find myself using the word source more and more. I use the word universe, but I think source is a better word, because again, like in frequency, it's something completely different. But since everybody out there is not hearing my frequency, putting this into words, I think source is a better way to label
Describe.
it. And so yes, when this 3D body ceases to be animated, it is a return to source, and then you have the option if you want to choose to reanimate in this life again, reincarnate. But also,
I know. We're talking about all things.
Did she just glitch? What happened there? I have so many thoughts at the same time and trying to.
I didn't want to interrupt you either.
For a way for people to understand, but when you sit in that space of fear, you continue to feed into the quote unquote experience of this misery. And, there is that feeding from the news, from the media, from all of these sources that continued to influence us to stay in that.
Yes.
But here is where we have the choice to step outside of that influence and not choose fear, choose love. And that's easiest to do when you stay in your here and now instead of looking out there to the fake stuff that they're making up to try and keep you in the fear. And that's when you can get to a space of truly co-creating the kind of world that you want to live in.
Yes, because I don't want to live in fear. And I'm glad you're going there because and the co-creation aspect of it all. Because when we remember our divinity, when we remember we're light and energy and part of all there is that co-creation from that aspect, not just from your 3D physical body that you're going into your kitchen to make a cup of coffee or your cacao. You're going to work, you're getting in your car, you're driving. You have to think more expansively, more of who you are, okay, in terms of part of source. And I'm saying God because there's so many that really relate to that term, but I agree with you that source is a really good explanation, I guess, of what we're talking about, of all that there is, or all that is. We are part of that. So you really have to step out of the 3D in order for what's going on in the 3D not to dictate your actions, your belief system, and everything that we've been talking about, because we've been talking about limiting beliefs and co-creation the past episodes. And if you didn't catch those episodes, maybe it's a good time to visit those so that you understand how we're using the terms, because co-creation is a big deal. And if you co-create from a space of love, you will then step into spaces of love, spaces of understanding, spaces of compassion, spaces of unity. And that's the way I live. That's the way I want to live. So if something is coming to me that brings me fear, I'm really going to question it. Is that out there external to me in the 3D and it's trying to be imposed upon my being? And do I need that? Or is it just going to take me in the wrong direction that I don't want to go? Because when you live in fear and you make decisions from fear, we know what that catastrophe can look like. I mean, and if anybody listening can relate to this, and you've done this, and you've felt this, and you've been just absorbed by fear, and that you didn't know which way to turn next. and you needed some help to get out of it. That's the reason why sometimes they come to people like us, right? But think about it. Think about it. That's what we want you to do for this episode, is just take a step back, really understand who you are. You're not just a physical being walking this earth, and it doesn't have to be in a fearful way. Remember your divinity. Remember the unity that exists among all of us. Remember that you're from Source. Remember Source created you. But go ahead.
No, and I was just going to say, the more that you are in that space of love, you will actually be able to shift what the perceived reality is out there.
Mm-hmm. Good, thank you. And yes. Co-creation part of this,
and it's experiences like that allow me to even understand this on a deeper level. That this is not real. And I guess until you actually experience it yourself, you just sit in that space but you have to really get in your heart more. And this is part of the reason why I am such a promoter of the cacao. And I do know that the cacao has been a part of this journey of understanding this on a different level. Because it did start with A Course in Miracles. And no, I've never read the whole thing because I only know a small handful of people who've ever done that.
I live with one.
It's crazy because I can say I have read the entire Bible, but I have not read the entire Course because it's harder to read the Course in Miracles than it is to read the Bible. But I do want to put it out there for people, like, if this is something that is completely new to you and you don't have any awareness of, like, you can start in places, like Marianne Williamson's A Return to Love is based on A Course in Miracles. For me, a fun read, I loved The Disappearance of the Universe. Gary Renard. Like, those are places that I think are easier to read to help you start to grasp the idea and start to get yourself where you might have these experiences. And because I do think for you to truly, it's like we can sit here and talk about this all we want, but until you actually have some semblance of an experience to prove this to you, it's really hard.
It is hard.
Yeah. But
and I think people are wrapped up in what they're worried about next, and they can't get in and drop to a place of love. I mean, we are mistaking ourselves as the people who need that bank account to be oh so high to create the value of who we are. What's our identity? What's our ego? What's our trauma we hold on to as our story? What's our job? Because we've got a title with that. All of this construct is our ego selves living in this 3D, right? And I love, like you're saying, dropping into your heart, like you're saying, dropping with the cacao. This has been, ancient tribes and people utilizing this plant medicine, which is, there's plant medicine and there's plant medicine. And this is chocolate, people. Don't get nervous, not psychedelic. But why is this called a heart opener? Because everybody back in the day, right? The ancient day, knew that the heart was where we needed to go to understand truly who we are and how we needed to relate to each other. Because they needed to get out of this ego construct and this competitiveness and this anger that forms with the competitiveness. And so, I've been practicing this for a while. So I know my shift, I feel my shift. And that's why I like going to cacao ceremony with you, Julietta. I like all the things that we do in terms of plant medicine because, this is where we need to be. And it feels so right. And it just definitely solidifies everything we're talking about, that we are not just this human body in this incarnation. I get that hit, that psychic hit every single time we do it, and that feeling. So go ahead. Yeah, I see you.
I do think it's important also to, because we say heart a lot, we talk about heart a lot, and
Yeah.
we're not actually talking about the physical organ of our body, of the 3D body, but an energetic heart center that is in our chest, like our heart. But yeah, when we say opening your heart and dropping into your heart, it's not about the actual organ.
No, exactly.
But
thank you for clarifying that. Good clarification. And it's a feeling. I mean, you can start with the feeling. Are you thinking through your head, right? Are you thinking with your head, which usually brings us to some toxic fear from time to time. But if you really filter it through your heart and you get these two in congruency, right, which is what often that we need to do, your heart's going to tell you, and you're going to feel it, because we got a lot of sensory, right, neurons going straight to the heart.
And I think you also hit the nail on the head there too, with we are so stuck in our head and trying to think everything through, when if you can feel, like the feel is going to guide you more in the direction of truth than thinking.
Yes. Everybody is so, worried about being right and thinking their way logically through a lot of this stuff. And that's not what this is meant to be, or the path that it's meant to be established in your system or to be understood. It's about the heart. We've known this from, like we're talking about. We're studying. I mean, I look at Sanskrit, and then this was just brought to me a few years ago, but the Bible, Sanskrit, you name it, across the centuries, across the world, when we're talking about understanding who we are, it's about the heart space. It is. It's about the connection. I mean, that's how we're going to survive all this 3D stuff, people. That's why we're here talking about this. We want everybody to live fruitful, peaceful, wonderful lives.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. It's because, you said the word surviving, and that's like so many of us are stuck in that survival mode. And we're not meant here to just be here to survive.
No.
We're meant to thrive and enjoy and but we can't do that when we're stuck in our fear-based mind and just running on the hamster wheel, chasing the next thing, chasing the dollar. And and I've had multiple people in recent sessions be just like, I worked so hard so that I could achieve this financial goal, thinking that one day I'd be able to rest. And then they find themselves like they just created more financial needs in their life. So they have to run even harder. And it's like, they're, when did it become a badge of honor to talk about how many hours, I worked 16-hour days. And I'm like, how is that a badge of honor? Like, I want to hear about the people that are having all their needs met, working 4 hours,
Yes.
Preferably 1 hour, or preferably working 0 hours.
Or you're not working if you're doing something you love, because you never call it work. How about that?
Yes.
It's a far reach, but you enjoy what you do, don't you?
All day, every day. And for the most part, and I keep shifting what I'm doing to make it more enjoyable for me, and take out those parts that didn't feel good. And and I now understand too, like I'm sure like the career expectancy of a physical therapist is 9 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you're working the way they want you to work, no, I'm impressed they make it even 9 years, you know?
I know. Yeah,
Because
no
it's
joke.
miserable out there. And
Yep.
listening to the people that are on the receiving end of, you know, yes, people go into physical therapy for different reasons, but I think the majority of people choose that path because they want to help people. They want to help people get better, people heal. And then when you realize like that's not really what the job is about. The job is about filling out forms and being compliant with all these regulations. And it's like, that's not what why I wanted to do this. I want to help people, but like every year that goes by, the system takes them more and more out of the people, and that's in healthcare across the board. And here we'll take a little pause because we have a message from one of our viewers. Be here, so powerful. Thank you, ladies, for making a difference. I love you both. That's the goals. Work less, create and explore more, ease and flow, and overall well-being.
I love it. Thank you. Is it Tina? Thank you. You're right. Thank you for listening, and thank you for writing that. You got it. You hear us. You know where we're coming from, and we want you all on the same path. Create the joy, create the love, create what you want to do with your life, not just about the daily grind. Don't make it the grind.
Well, and I think this is part two, is people getting clarity on what they actually want. Because we have been so programmed to want, you know, since we're here in the US, the American dream of, you know, the perfect house with a white picket fence, the perfect spouse, the 2 children, the dog, you know, I'll say now, the Tesla vehicle. You know,
I was just thinking the Tesla.
I was going to say a Mercedes or BMW, but I think that's like, that ages me. I think it's like the Tesla that you want, you know, and the Louis Vuitton bag. I don't know if they're still cool. I've never wanted a Louis Vuitton bag. Sorry, Louis Vuitton. But like they have everybody like chasing these things and putting these things on. Like we're even programmed as children. You remember when we were kids and we got the toy catalog and like we, you know, go through and like, what do you want for Christmas? And you know, so they're programming us to want these material things, which at the end of the day, do these material things actually bring you anything worth having?
Nope.
You know, it's like my things mean nothing to me. It's the
and
connections that I have. Exactly. But it's the connections that I have with people, the love and joy that I experience being with others. Those are the things that matter. And, you know, those things are things that you can't touch and you can't feel. You can't buy them because those are the things that are real. If you can buy it with money, it's not real because money's not real.
Here we go.
We invest all this time chasing it.
We do. We do. And so the other, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was like, when you said it's not real again, taking us back. So now you know where we're coming from. What's really, or what's the illusion? Because I wanted to throw that word out earlier. Comes from the Course too. It's an illusion. That's the unreal, right? So we're trying to tell you, or trying to explain to you where we're coming from and the feelings that we have, what motivates us, what fills us, what's nurturing to us, what's satisfaction, pure joy, pure love. You know, those are the things that we find near and dear to our heart. That's who we are. And I think everybody understands that that's listening. And just to your point about earlier, when I ask my students, what is the reason they want to be a therapist? You know, and I essentially, if they don't say, I really want to help people, or I really want to be there, you know, in a healing process, in a healing way, and help facilitate or do things like that. If I don't hear those things, and if they're just wanting to be in it for the money, I'm like, this is not for you. You're not in the right field.
There's way easier ways to make money if that's what you're chasing. But I do want to put out there to our audience to just start examining, like, what is it that does matter to you, and what is it
Right.
that you do want to create in this
Right.
virtual reality game that we're playing?
Yep.
Because it all goes back to remembering who we are, the divine creative beings that we are, and
Yes.
understanding that we do have the possibility of
Yeah.
changing the world that we're living in here. Stop believing the news, stop believing the media, and really tune in and start like, you'll start to see shifts. And then when you see that shift,
Yes.
it's like the light bulb goes off, and then you can start doing more of that.
Yes.
And my dream is that this happens on a global level, that we
Mhm.
all wake up to this, so that, because alone I can only create so much
Mhm.
in the entirety of this simulation that we're in. And so, my dream is that more people get on board, so that we can create a place where we're all thriving and enjoying life and
Mhm.
spending time in peace and love and joy and happiness,
Mhm.
instead of suffering, hustling to
Mhm.
pay the bills and,
Mhm.
do all the things. So
Mhm.
if you're out there
Perfect.
with me, send me a sign. Send me a sign.
Yes. Yes. Look for those signs, everybody, and send Juliet a sign. She really wants to hear from you. No joke.
Yeah. And like, if you need it, like, you're going, yes, I want more of this, but I need help. How do I get there? Reach out to. Come to
Yes.
my cacao ceremony.
Yes.
There's plenty of ways that we can hold your hand and help
Mhm.
you become
Yes.
part of the team that is creating
Yes. We are.
beauty and love and joy.
We are. We are. That's what we're about. So, yeah, that's a good finishing touch, I think.
Yeah.
I
And
think so.
while I would love to stay and chat more, I do need
Okay.
to go and prepare a beautiful pot of ceremonial cacao for my attendees tonight.
Good.
And
Good.
yeah,
Good. Yay. I'll be with you in
woo,
spirit, sister. Yes.
yes.
I'm sending all
And
of
we'll see you all. I will see you all from Egypt next
you.
week.
Egypt. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Take care, everybody. Ciao for now.
Have a magical day.